What's up, everybody? This is the final Operation Recall pre-production packet for today, and this is the big bad guy, General Mortífero, the year one big dog. So let's get this turned around, get that opened up. So this is designed by Mark Pennington. This is what we call ideation. This is all the ideas, you know, just throwing them at the wall and seeing what sticks. Mark comes with a lot of loose, a lot of gestural illustrations with just tons of ideas, you know, whereas Ron Rudat might do like 4, but they're really detailed and they have tons of writing all over them, like indicating what certain things are. Mark takes a different approach. He keeps it very loose and just throws a ton of ideas out there. So it's fun to work with both of them. This one little illustration right here is what resulted in Mortífero version 2 with a tattooed face. So you'll see more of him right at the end of year 1. Spoiler alert, that's the mail order figure for year 1. All right, so then we reviewed it, Kirk Bazigian and I did, and I typed up those notes and sent those back to Mark Pennington, along with photocopies with markup of things we wanted to keep, more things we wanted to keep. Such a cool figure design. Absolutely love this figure. And yes, Mark Pennington is the guy that designed, you know, the Iron Grenadiers, Destro version 2, you know, so many of those cool late 80s figures. So yeah, the Pauldron, for example, or the Red Cape, like, yeah, that's all things that, you know, those are signature Pennington. So anyway, this describes the accessories that we want to run with, how they might attach to them, etc. This is Larry Hama's file card, first look for Mark Pennington. Then we have the final line art for this figure, where everything's been revised, and we already had 2 versions right out of the gate. We knew where we were going from day one on this one. As soon as we reviewed the ideation, we knew that we were going to make 2 versions, masked and unmasked. So this is a figure sculpture sheet. This is an accessory sculpture sheet. And then sometimes, you know, the artist wants to do some things that will not release from a 2-piece mold, and so you make some design modifications and so on and so forth, but we stay as close as possible. These are color studies for General Mortífero, and there's just some brilliant work in here. And possible future versions, you know. So then this is the kickoff letter for Mike, and Mike Good was the sculptor for Mortífero, as my Spanish friends would tell me. But I've been saying Mortífero for so long, it's gonna be hard to break it and say Mortífero. So anyway, this figure sculpture sheet, a ton of photo reference for Mike Good for when he is sculpting this figure. And then they had the layout by Ed Morrill showing what available space we're gonna have. Now this space right here actually ended up having quite a big impact, because what ends up there is the mace. This is a colored study with file card. Then we have the colored figure sculpture sheet, accessory sculpture sheets, and then this is presentation art layouts that Mark Pennington was working on. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the presentation art, skip ahead to that. Sorry about the train. But as you can see right here, this is the layouts for that presentation art. So that's pretty cool to have. All right, so this is where we started talking about package artwork, and this was the kickoff for Doug Hart to create the package painting. So we had Ed Morrill's sketch, we had the engineering layouts, we had 3D renders of the accessories and costume elements, and then I actually ended up calling a little bit of an audible on this one. I did pose that out and take photos of it, but I did some other poses while I was at it, and we ended up going for this one. Kind of put a poll out there to the community, took a bunch of votes, and this was the winner, and so that's what we ended up going with. And this ended up being the painting. So this is signed by Doug Hart, and this is version 1, where he's got his mask on. And then there's the file card with the version 1 painting. Here is the version 1 card back, so you can see how it lays out, and you can see that extra space that was available right there ended up coming in really handy. We were able to move that mace out and give him more space to play with. So this is a 6x9 proof card on cardstock, and then as you can see on the proof card, he's got purple as his background color. So same as the rest, he's going to come with an insert that's 2.5 by 3.5, and that's going to fit right in behind the figure. And when you unfold it, it's going to show you all the ideation work, all the color studies, the figure sculpture sheet, the accessory sculpture sheet, and then the presentation artwork. So all that will be included with every single figure. And then when you flip that over, it's going to be this unadorned package painting by Doug Hart. Now, this is the big reveal, so turn off the video if you don't want spoilers. This is going to be a mail order year one, figure number 20. This is the last figure of the line for year one. And it will come with an insert, as will the rest of them. And that will show him unmasked with a little bit of blood on his face and a little bit of blood on his mace, because he's been doing some dirt. And there will be a figure insert as well. This is going to be a red back file card. And this red pamphlet is going to be inserted there. It's going to show all the ideation. Again, this was the birth of Mortífero Unmasked right here. Then you get the color studies, then you get the figure sculpture sheet, then you get the accessory sculpture sheet, then you get the presentation artwork, and you flip that over and you get an updated version of the artwork with the bloody face and the bloody mace. So this is heading out to its new owner, and I think that's everything. He also got some other stuff signed at Joe Fest, so those are just additional pieces. And then there is the John Earl and Gabriel Mangum collaboration in the back. So this will be headed out, coming your way soon, Ben. Thank you to every one of you that backed Operation Recall, and thank you for sure, especially to our guys that backed this pre-production artwork. You guys backing these pre-production runs helps directly pay these creatives to do this work. So thank you. All right, guys, I'll be back with more soon. Cheers.